everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Minnie here and I hope you are really enjoying the holiday season. Today I'm coming to you with a list of my very favorite fragrance discoveries of 2021. These are all perfumes that I added to my collection this year. They're all perfumes that I absolutely adore. It was difficult narrowing this list down to just 10 perfumes. I've added a lot to my collection this year. I love a lot of fragrances, and while this list is mostly designer perfumes, I do think in the future it could look a lot different. Noticeably missing from this list are a lot of fragrances that I really love. For example, Lost Cherry by Tom Ford, Eau Duelle by Diptique, Seductive Noir by Guess, Cloud Intense by Ariana Grande. There's also Princess by Kilian. Just a lot of perfumes that I really adored this year, but I had to leave this list succinct. I wanted to condense it as much as possible to make it clean and concise. So if that interests you, please stay tuned and I'll jump right in. Now I am going to start out with an honorable mention. It was one of the few technicalities I could think of to get around to having a list of 10. This is Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche. This is a beautiful, freshy fragrance, and I can't wait to wear this more in the summer months. This perfume has notes that are found in other freshy fragrances, for example, lemon, cedar, musk, and amber, but this one just goes in a different direction. It has more depth, more character than others I've come across. I think it has to do a little bit with the fact that there is iris in this one, there is teak wood, and I just find this to be a very alluring, fresh, clean type fragrance. My experience has been that some freshy fragrances can go a little too much in that citrusy realm for me. This does not do that. I'm happy to have this in my collection, so my honorable mention is Chanel Chance Eau Fraiche by Chanel. Next up is a tie with two fragrances, and again, this was another technicality I thought of to condense this list, but also include fragrances that I really loved this year. The two fragrances that are tied for the number 10 spot on this list are Girl of Now Shine by Elie Saab and La Vie Belle L'Eclat by Lancome. Both of these perfumes have orange blossom, mandarin orange, vanilla, and iris, but they do smell quite different from one another. Girl of Now Shine is a gorgeous, nutty, vanillic scent with orange blossom. This one has a beautiful almond pistachio accord to it, and it is quite similar to the original Girl of Now. If you like the original Girl of Now, I love it. I think you're gonna like this fragrance. This one goes in a little bit more of a fruity direction though. This one also has pineapple, ylang ylang, iris as I mentioned before, and of course vanilla. The notes in this perfume just round it out to make it a gorgeous, fun, summery, but also winter appropriate because it has those warm notes type perfume. I love this. I wore it almost an entire week when I was on vacation this summer. Really got to know and love this fragrance. This is Girl of Now Shine by Elie Saab. Tied in that 10 spot is La Vie Belle L'Eclat, and this is my 5th La Vie Belle fragrance. I just love the line, and I'm going to continue to buy them as they come out. La Vie Belle L'Eclat also has orange blossom, some of those sweet notes that I mentioned before. It is a beautiful fragrance, also very appropriate for the summer months, one I love to reach for. Whereas this one goes in a little bit more of a floral vanilla direction. Girl of Now Shine, of course, is more of that nutty type scent profile. Both of these are amazing fragrances that I'm happy to have discovered this year. Girl of Now Shine by Elie Saab and La Vie Belle L'Eclat by Lancome. Taking the number 9 spot is Chocolate Greedy by Montale. This is a gourmand lover's paradise. It is a chocolate lover's paradise. I have to be honest, this one was not a love at first sniff for me. I did have to play with it a little bit. I had to acclimate to the scent profile, but once I did, this quickly grew to a love. This one has a rich, deep vanilla chocolatiness to it, but it's balanced out by the dried fruits, the bitter orange note that's in here, which really complete the scent profile for this one and make it a fragrance that I really enjoy reaching for when I'm craving a warm, deep, rich gourmand. I love having this in my collection, and I do recommend it to gourmand lovers. Now in the same vein is one other fragrance that I want to mention while I'm on this 9 spot, and that is Accident à la Vanille by Joussette Perfumes. Unfortunately, at this point, I only have a 1 milliliter sample, but I do consider it to be full bottle worthy, despite the fact that it comes at a little bit of a higher price point. It has this beautiful vanilla, gourmand, warm, buttery type toffee fragrance profile. Love that one. but did not include it officially on the list because I don't have a full bottle at this point in time. That one is Accident à la Vanille by Giuseppe Perfumes, and the one that takes the 9th spot is Chocolate Greedy by Montale. Moving on to the 8th spot is The Only One Intense by Dolce & Gabbana. This is another 2021 find of mine, not released in 2021. It may have been released earlier, maybe 2020, but I'm so happy to have come across this fragrance this past year. I've always had this perception that I didn't love white florals, and this fragrance taught me otherwise. I love white florals when they're done in a way that has a little bit of a gourmand touch. In this one, you have floral notes like jasmine and orange blossom, but those are beautifully blended with sweet notes, gourmand-like notes, vanilla, coconut, and apple, which really rounds this out, tricks my mind into thinking I'm getting a gourmand from this perfume, and for that reason I really adore the rich, intoxicating floral gourmand combination in this fragrance. This is The Only One Intense by Dolce & Gabbana. In a similar vein, kind of white floral centric with a little bit of gourmand notes, is Tribeca by Bond No. 9. Now this is one that I don't have in my collection yet. I really want to have it in my collection. It gives me a similar vibe to The Only One Intense, which is why I wanted to mention it here. I think for people who like a little bit of gourmand touch with their white florals will really enjoy this fragrance as well. It is stunning. I absolutely adore this one. It has cacao, hazelnut, and caramel, and those notes just add a beautiful richness to the white florals that are in here. So just wanted to touch on this one. If I had a full bottle of Tribeca, it would absolutely make the list. Just a notable mention that I wanted to include here. Moving on to the 7th spot is Amber Oud Rouge by Haramain. I think this is an excellent alternative to Baccarat Rouge 540 for somebody who doesn't want to pay Baccarat Rouge 540 prices. This fragrance is very much like Baccarat Rouge 540. I kind of question if some people would be able to tell the difference between the two, and this one comes at a much more affordable price point. I find this to be an excellent done inspiration fragrance, one I highly recommend for people who don't want to pay that Baccarat Rouge 540 price. I think it will give you the same sweetness, the same feel. It's one that I've worn a lot since I purchased it. Again, this is Amber Oud Rouge by Haramain. Taking the number 6 spot is probably the most bittersweet fragrance that I have in my collection. This is Lipstick On by the Replica brand. This is one that I brought into my collection in sample form originally. I was on the fence with it. I wasn't sure if I loved it, but after I played around with it, I realized that I absolutely adore iris, and I adore the way iris is done in this perfume. The reason this fragrance is bittersweet to me is because it has been discontinued. It's becoming harder and harder to find, but you can find it from time to time on eBay at an affordable price. This one is an exquisite option for iris lovers. It has a deep, dark, powdery type scent profile. The vanilla in this fragrance is bourbon vanilla, and it pairs beautifully with the iris in this perfume, making it an amazing date night fragrance, making it the type of fragrance that just makes you feel beautiful. If you love this fragrance and you're having a hard time getting your hands on it, I do recommend trying Land Noir by Givenchy. These two are not the same. There are definitely some differences. I don't think this one goes as deep, as dark, as rich as the original Lipstick On, but it shares some similarities, and if you like this, you may like this one. This one is Lipstick On by Replica. Alright, halfway through this list, taking the number 5 spot is Nirvana Amethyst by the House of Elizabeth and James. This was a great find for me. This comes at an affordable price. It's easy to get your hands on. I'm super excited to have this fragrance in my collection. In this fragrance is tobacco, honeysuckle, cedar, spices. The tobacco is absolutely exquisite in this perfume, and it plays very beautifully with the sweet notes in here, the woody notes in here. I'm so impressed with how this fragrance is done. It is a celebrity perfume, but I don't feel like it smells anything like the other celebrity perfumes on the market. This is cozy, it's comforting, it's sweet. It's intoxicating. This is great for people who like a little bit of spice, a little bit of tobacco, a little bit of depth in their perfumes. Definitely recommend checking this one out. This is Nirvana Amethyst by Elizabeth and James. In the number 4 spot is a fragrance that could be a little bit of a surprise to anybody who watches my channel because I haven't spoken about this one very much. This is Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere by the House of Philosophy. This fragrance is very, very sweet. It's often compared to Warm Vanilla Sugar by Bath & Body Works, and while I haven't played with that fragrance for quite some time, I do really enjoy this one more than I remember enjoying Warm Vanilla Sugar. This is another one that is cozy, it's comforting, it's very, very sweet, but the notes are beautiful in this one. The notes are vanilla, coconut, sandalwood, and cashmere wood, as well as musk, and that's just about the order in which I smell the notes in this fragrance. The vanilla is the standout note in this perfume, but I can pick up the coconut when I press my nose to it. It's just beautifully done. This is another one that I think gourmand lovers are really gonna enjoy. One thing I wanted to mention is that the day I brought this into my collection was also the first day I started playing with the My Happy Discovery set by Estee Lauder, and I happened to have it on the same hand I had Cookies and Kisses. This is kind of like a by the fireplace type scent because it has some smokiness, it has some depth in it. I think these two pair together incredibly. So when I wear this, I also pair it with this fragrance because they are stunning together. That being said, I think either one of these is an amazing standalone fragrance. I really enjoy wearing this one. It just gives me a peaceful, calming, comforting vibe. This is Fresh Cream Warm Cashmere by Philosophy. All right, moving on to number 3 on this list is Ce Soir by BDK. There was a period of time in October where I could not quit wearing this fragrance. This was another one that was not a love at first sniff, but it grew on me very, very quickly once I went back to it and started playing with it a little bit more. This is unlike anything else that I have in my collection. It has almost a syrupy sweetness, but it's not syrupy. From the notes that are in here, there's ginger, mandarin orange, black pepper. In the mid is quince, Moroccan jasmine, orange blossom. And in the base is cashmere, amberwood, and Singapore patchouli. Quince is an interesting note to have in a fragrance. It's not one that I see very often, but it's unique. It gives it an aromatic, fruity, sour, and dry type fragrance profile according to Fragrantica. The other thing I do pick up discreetly here is the ginger in this perfume, and I just think that note gives it some added dimension, added character. Really love the notes composition in this fragrance. This fragrance to me is quite sophisticated, but I do think it's very versatile as well. I feel completely comfortable wearing this into a business setting, but I think it would be appropriate to wear out to a sporting event. I also think it would be an amazing date night fragrance. Really versatile perfume, one I definitely recommend trying before you buy it because, like I said before, this was not a love at first sniff, but it definitely grew on me, one I really adore at this point in time. Ce Soir by BDK. Taking the number 2 spot is a fragrance that I actually contemplated, debated putting so high on the list, but I have to say I did it for 2 reasons. This is Glossier You. And the reason I have it so high on this list, first off, is because I love iris in fragrances and it is done exceptionally well in this perfume. Number 2, I find this to be gentle. It's an easy perfume. It works so well on a non-perfume perfume day. It's just an easy reach type fragrance that I really needed in my collection. When I want something that is light, something that's gentle, but it's also stunning and beautiful, this is one that I reach for. On the Glossier website, they say the notes in this fragrance are pink pepper, giving it a bright, sparkling, and spicy vibe. There's also iris, which is floral, green, and powdery, ambrette seeds that are woody, warm, and sweet, and then the ambrox, which is creamy, musky, and salty. This is sultry, it's gentle, it's warm, it has that beautiful woody base, but the standout note that I love the most in this perfume is the iris. I said in a prior review that I find this fragrance to be breathtakingly beautiful. I stand by that comment. I still feel that way, and for that reason, this fragrance takes the number 2 spot on my list of fragrance discoveries in 2021. This is You by Glossier. Okay, on to the number 1 spot, and this fragrance probably will not be a surprise for anyone that watches my channel. channel. This is Bois Dore by Van Cleef & Arpels. This is a fragrance that I sampled back in 2020. Liked it, but found it a little bit too masculine for my tastes at the time. Moving into 2021, I saw a perfume review by Gabby Loves Perfumes raving about this one. It made me go back and revisit it, and I am so glad I did. After playing with it again, I quickly brought this into my collection, and it's one of my favorite perfumes that I have. This has a narcotic, almost addictive quality to me. It's one that I consider to be a masterpiece. It's one that I feel beautiful when I wear. The notes in this fragrance are mineral notes, black pepper. In the mid, you have vanilla, almond, tobacco, and cedar. And then in the base, you have tonka bean, teakwood, and musk. This one is vanillic, it's woody, it's so smooth. I love the way the tobacco and the almond come together in this fragrance. The other thing that's interesting here is the mineral notes that are in this perfume. I'm not exactly sure what they do to this fragrance, but it feels like it gives it a little bit of a coolness, a little bit of a character that you don't find in any other perfume. This is a deep love of mine, one that I hope I always have in my collection, one that is making me want to explore Van Cleef & Arpels a little bit more. This is Bois Dore by Van Cleef & Arpels. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in to my channel. As always, I truly appreciate you. If you enjoyed this video on 2021 fragrance discoveries that I adore, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I hope you have an amazing rest of the holiday season. I hope you have a lot to be grateful and thankful for. And until next time, I'll see you soon.